Welcome to Mama Moves Podcast, where we focus on identifying barriers, removing barriers, and breaking through so that we can be who God has created and formed us to be, do what God has called us to do, and go where God has planned for us to go. I am your host, LaQuisha Williams. Let's get moving in our minds so we can move in our bodies. Have you ever been in a season where you just feel stretched on all sides? I've been in a season where I've just been feeling stretched. I've been feeling stretched on so many different sides. Things are starting to pick up more. I am starting to get involved in more. And this is somewhere that I once desired to be. But now that I am here, I feel stretched. And I understand that in feeling stretched, I know that I am in faith. I know that I'm in the right place. I know that I'm walking this thing out with the Lord. I'm not doing it perfectly. I know that. um, but I am trying my best to be faithful. And so every day, there's something that I'm doing that is stretching me, that's helping me to grow, that is making me shake in my boots. There's something that I'm doing that sometimes has me struggle with myself and my new self and my old self, because my old self wants to retreat, wants to isolate, wants to be paralyzed, wants to be comfortable, wants to avoid and distract. But the new me is tired of all that. The new me has broken through all that. And so the new me is not tolerating shrinking back. The new me is not tolerating being comfortable and avoiding and running away from things. The new me is like, okay, I'm feeling this. A lot of this is a stretch. A lot of this is pressure. A lot of this is feeling afraid, and it doesn't feel good. I was speaking to one of a good friend of mine, and we were talking, and how she explained, she used a word, and she said gut wrenching. And I was like, that is a good word for how I actually feel. It's like when you are doing things that you probably never imagined that you would do, or that the old you probably wouldn't have done at all. And you're doing things, you're sharing things, you're going places, and you're just looking at yourself like, yeah, this is definitely a new me, because I would have never done this back with the old me. But it's like a gut wrenching feeling. It's like a very nervous feeling, because you are in a place of uncertainty. You're walking in the unknown. Uh, you're just being, doing, and going without, asking too many questions, without knowing what specifically is ahead, without knowing the outcome of something. You're just walking into things that you're supposed to be walking into. And you just out here trusting the Lord. And you just out here like, okay, like Peter walking on water. You out here walking on water, and trying your best to keep your eyes on the Lord. And because I know the story of Peter and how he looked away, and focused on something else, and then started to sink, because I know that story, I can be mindful to not look to the left and look to the right. And even if I do, because this journey, this walk, just because I am uh, walking and being faithful, doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes. It doesn't mean that I am going to do things perfectly. And so if I do look to the left and I do look to the right, it's only going to be for a short period of time. And I'm saying that because I'm going to say that with confidence, because I'm just at a place right now where I just don't have any more time to just be wasting. and to just be sitting still. And the Lord made it clear to me so many different times how he never told me to stop. He only told me to slow down. And so I have to understand that. And I just been working on the balance of being diligent and slowing down and understanding the pace of grace and understanding God's rhythm and really just walking in that and staying in that and abiding. And I listen, it's just like it's not easy. One one somebody once said, "This faith walk ain't no cakewalk," and I agree. It really is not. There's days where I just feel like I cannot do it. There's days where I doubt myself. There's days where I just want to give up, and I'm complaining, and I'm just like, this is too complicated. Why does it have to be so hard? And it just reminds me even saying that about the when Jesus was speaking about his way being narrow and not many people going that way. And so I know that it's not going to be easy. And that's a great thing to know so that when hard times do come and when I am struggling, I can say that. I can say, you know what? This is a hard time and it has come and I can overcome because God has made me more than a conqueror. And so I've been in this place where I just been feeling stretched. And there has been many times where I just wanted to give up. And I had the conversation with the Lord, like, Lord, I don't know if I could do this. And before, I would have never wanted to have those conversations with God. I just, want to make him proud and want to make him happy and don't want to disappoint him. But now, as I am developing more of a relationship with him and I'm seeing just so many different struggles and obstacles and barriers, I have to keep it honest. I have to keep it real with God because he already knows. And so many times I've come to the Lord and I'm just like, Lord, I can't do this. And that's recent with the Lord being so faithful and so consistent and so loving. He continues to encourage me. He continues to send a word. He continues to send somebody um, to help me, to push me, to walk with me, to hold my hand, to keep me going, to encourage me. And I'm so grateful for that because I literally can't do nothing without the Lord. And I literally understand more and more the verse of scripture where it talks about abide in the Lord and he will abide in me. And it talks about the vine and the branches and how we can't do anything apart from Jesus. We can't do anything apart from the Lord. Like we are in him. That means that we can't do this. We can't walk this walk out alone. And to be honest, even though I knew that, somehow, subconsciously, I used to think that I can. I used to have these, uh, uh, what they call it, like drive-bys or stop-bys with the Lord. And like, for example, I would spend time with him, maybe even hours with him in the morning. And then once I'm done praying and I'm going on about my day, I would leave him there. And I didn't realize that I was doing that. And then I would wonder why I struggled so much when I tried to go and do the things that he said to do. But the Lord never meant for me to do it by myself. He wants me to spend time with him and then, okay, Lord, let's go and bring him in with me, even though he never leaves me nor forsake me. But I have to be aware that the Lord is with me and I have to engage with him and be attentive to what he's saying, hone into his voice, pay attention and not be distracted. And so many times I have, just spent time with the Lord, put him down, going on about my day, or taking a word from him, taking revelation, and then going and running and doing something from what I perceived, the Lord said. And I would get it half right, or I wouldn't get nothing right. And I would just be like, Lord, what is it? Why is it so hard? You told me to do this, and I went and did it. And but the Lord never intended for me to do anything alone, anything separate from him. And so as I continue to understand grace, as I continue to walk in grace, I see how much He helps me. I see how much I need Him. I see how much I want Him. And I know for a fact that I cannot live without Him. I don't want to live without Him. I don't desire to live without Him. He's so merciful and loving that I don't even have to have a doubt in my mind to live without Him. No matter what mess I make, no matter what mess I'm in, I know He is right there with me, and He will help me clean it up. He will walk with me. He will teach me. He will discipline me. He will correct me. He will do whatever it takes to make sure that His daughter is on the right path. And I love that for me. I love that for him. I love that for us. I enjoy my relationship with God, and I really, really, really take it seriously, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be. I love the Lord. I really do. I really do. Because he's just so faithful. He's so kind. He's so patient and gentle. He's so loving and caring. He's so wise. He's just everything that I ever want and ever need. And so, yeah, I love the Lord, and I love our relationship, and I love that for me. I've been stretched, but I know that I'm covered. I know that I'm supported. I know that the Lord has my hand, and I know that I don't have to worry. And what I'm figuring out as I go and see that anything that tried to make me afraid, anything that made me nervous, when I got to the other side of that thing, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep on doing this. Like, there's freedom. There's freedom on the other side of being afraid. There's breakthrough when you do things, even when you are afraid. Do it afraid. Like, fear, one misconception is that fear will go away. I'm not sure about that. I don't believe that fear will just go away. I think that you have to do it even with fear standing there. I believe that you have to be more than a conqueror in the face of your enemy. And fear is an enemy. Fear is an enemy of our identity. Fear wants to paralyze us and stop us from doing what it is that we need to do. And I have to be able to continue to walk and face fear and do what the Lord has said to do. Do what thus says the Lord. Um, Even when I'm feeling it, even when I'm feeling nervous, even when I'm turning in my stomach, even when I'm shaking in my boots, because I want to do His will, because I want breakthrough, because I want to help people, I want to be valuable to the kingdom. I have many reasons. And so with those many reasons, I'm doing the opposite of what fear say. And I'm going even though I feel it. And I'm just going to continue to do that. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Am I going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But I'm going to continue to show up. I'm going to continue to take the opportunity. And even if I miss the opportunity, I'm going to stand there and say, Lord, I missed that. But the next time the opportunity comes, I'm going. I'm going to continue to go no matter how many mistakes I make, how many times I fall, how many times I stumble. I am determined to continue to ride this thing out, because I don't want to die full. I want to die empty. I want to die knowing that I've done all that the Lord has called me to do. And I'm going to try my best to do that. I don't plan on leaving this earth no time soon. But when I do, a long time from now, uh, and when the Lord calls me home, I want to go home with the Lord saying, well done, my good and faithful servant. And I think that's what we all want to do. And it takes for us to just take those baby steps, take those steps, just go and see, dip your foot in there and just see. Sometimes dive in and just see. Because when we get to the other side of what it is we're hesitating to do, what it is we're nervous to do, afraid to do, anxious to do, we get to the other side of that, we be like, let's do more. Let's do it again. Let's go over and venture something else, you know. And so, yeah, y'all, I just am unpacking how I have been feeling lately. Just been feeling stretched, knowing that I am in faith, knowing that even through suffering, even through pressure, even through the process of just feeling pressed, that I am in the right place. This is a part of the process, and I'm walking the right way, and I'm doing it with the Lord. And that's just it. And I'm going where I'm supposed to go. And I'm glad. Goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. And I'm happy about that. So, yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all. I hope I said something that helped you move in your mind in some kind of way, because that is what I am doing, and I want to do it with you guys together. Why? Because this is Mama Move, and we want to make sure that we are moving in our minds so we can move in our bodies, so we can do exactly what the Lord told us to do, so we can be who God has created and formed us to be, so we can do what God has called us to do, and we can go where God has planned for us to go. I am LaQuisha. I am your host, and I'm not only ministering to you, I am also ministering to myself. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed, and prosperous day.